NoDQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of the return of WWE Saturday Night's main event back on NBC. Also, it was simulcasted on Peacock. I did watch the show on Peacock. We got the commercials. It was basically the same show that you would have watched on NBC. Peacock had the commercials. Overall, I would say that Saturday night's main event was somewhere between your standard WWE television show and a premium live event. It definitely had a little bit of a different vibe to it, which I very much appreciated. A lot of nostalgia as a fan who grew up in the late 80s and 90s. I watched all those Saturday night's main event shows. It was a nice throwback. Now, let's talk about what actually happened on the show. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I appreciate your viewership and support. Some of you might be watching for the first time. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, I'm on here every week recapping Raw, SmackDown, and AEW Dynamite. Leave your thoughts in the chat room. If you're watching live, let me know what you thought about Saturday night's main event, your favorite match, your least favorite match. What were your thoughts on Jesse the Body Ventura coming back for the show? I'll talk about him in just a moment here. We had the intro for Saturday night's main event. We had the old music, Obsession, the old 80s song that was used as the first theme song for Saturday night's main event. I loved the intro. I was very happy with the intro. It was a nice throwback, but also mixing in the new era of WWE with the classic vibe of the original intro for Saturday night's main event. We had Joe Tessitore and Jesse Ventura as the hosts of the show. Jesse Ventura only did commentary for the main event. I did see some people were disappointed with that. I think it was probably the right call the way WWE did it, with having him and Joe Tessitore in the beginning and then have Jesse Ventura do commentary for the main event. Jesse made a joke about Dusty Rhodes. He brought up how he's not even sure that Cody Rhodes is the son of Dusty because Cody has the really good abs and Dusty Rhodes just had a lot of abs. Too many abs. The Shanti says stick to no DQ. Sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says Joe Tessitore did give it a nostalgia feel, especially with the body. Also, the shows from the Peacock point of view was kind of off and misplaced in the beginning. I didn't really notice anything with the Peacock broadcast that seemed off to me. Maybe the sound, like during the matches, I felt like when they would bump on the mat, sometimes the audio would not come through and you would not hear anything. I'm not sure if I'm the only person that noticed that or not, but beyond that, everything seemed standard as far as production goes. Now, we did have a nice little surprise for Saturday night's main event. He came back early. Christmas came early. We had Pat McAfee making his return. Pat McAfee back on commentary. And again, I think this was the right call to have Michael Cole and Pat McAfee out there on commentary. It was great to have Pat McAfee back. We had our first match, which was Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. It was a good match. Good TV match. I don't know if it was at the level of a premium live event match, but I felt like if it was on a Raw or a SmackDown, it would have been a really strong television match. Now, Sami Zayn went right after McIntyre. He was on fire in the beginning. McIntyre, though, was able to gain the upper hand. He tossed Zayn over the announce table. And then after the break, it was back and forth. Zayn was able to counter the Claymore. He hit the Blue Thunder Bomb and picked up the win. No, I'm lying. He did not pick up the win with the Blue Thunder Bomb. He only did it a couple times. One of those times being earlier this year. He did not win with the Blue Thunder Bomb. But then McIntyre, after kicking out, he picked up the win clean with the Claymore. And then he went backstage and said 1 down, 4 to go. So it looks like we know what Drew McIntyre's mission is now. He is going to take out the entire original bloodline. That is his new goal. It was a good match. Solid opening to the show. I liked it. I thought it was a very well done match. No surprise, though. Drew McIntyre, after losing Hell in a Cell to CM Punk, really needed to get the win here. We had some legends in attendance for the show. We saw Tito Santana. Jimmy Hart was there. Man, Jimmy Hart looks great. For 80 years old, he looks fantastic. I mean, I think a lot of us could only wish to look as good as him if we even make it to 80 years old. So shout out to Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, all-time legend. And shout out to Hamp Connell, who sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Hamp. I appreciate it. Hamp says, today in history in 2008, Jeff Hardy wins his first WWE Championship in a triple threat match versus Triple H and Edge at Armageddon. That was a great moment. It's too bad that Jeff's title run was so short and they had to go with that pretty lame feud with Matt Hardy, at least as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't the biggest fan of that feud. It was cool, though, to see Jeff win. Jeff really had a fantastic year from 2008 all the way through SummerSlam. That was the peak of his career, I would say. Thank you again for that, Hamp. Now, let's get to our second match of the evening, which was Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World title. Very competitive match here. Io did get in a lot of offense. She did her springboard moonsault to the outside, did a suicide dive, got her back in the ring, did the missile drop kick. Eventually, Liv got the upper hand. She busted out a code breaker. Then Io regained the upper hand, hit her with some German suplexes. Then Io just nailed Liv right in the nose with a knee. It was brutal. It was a brutal knee to the face. Then Io hit the bullet train attack in the corner, then went for the moonsault. You would think that would have been it, but no. Liv Morgan got her feet up, and then Liv picked up the win with the Oblivion. Good match here, and it accomplished what it needed to, giving Liv Morgan a nice, strong title retention. She's been champion since when? SummerSlam or before SummerSlam? She's been champion for a while, and she really hasn't had too many notable title defenses. This was good for her, good for the title reign. It was solid. Solid match here. After the match was over, she was champion longer than SummerSlam. I'm already forgetting. That's the thing when she doesn't really defend the title all that often. You forget how she even won the title in the first place. After the match was over, the former champion, Rhea Ripley, showed up by the entrance stage and she confronted Liv. Liv held up the championship. Looks like we are going to get that match at some point in the near future. Could be the Royal Rumble. Could be the premiere of Raw on Netflix. I would expect one of those two. Royal Rumble still seems a bit far away. So maybe that first Raw on Netflix, they'll do that match. Whenever it happens, I expect Rhea Ripley to get the title back. I think Rhea's going to be champion heading into WrestleMania. Building Nexus sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Building Nexus. I appreciate it. Building Nexus says, if they're serious about Sky versus Ripley, she needs to win the Rumble now. If you're talking about Io Sky, I do not think Io Sky is winning the Royal Rumble. I'll say that much. I think that we could see Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley again, depending on where Becky Lynch lands, if she's on Raw or SmackDown. Could Charlotte Flair end up on Raw and challenge Rhea Ripley? I could see that as a possibility too. I feel like it's likely going to be one of those two matches, either Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Just an early prediction, a gut feeling. They're really going to go with star power for the championship match. Thank you again, Building Nexus. We had our World Heavyweight Championship match. The Ring General, Gunther, defending his World Championship against Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Another good match here, fast-paced. They didn't have a lot of time. This was just a 2-hour show. These matches did feel a little bit on the short side, but they were moving at a fast pace. It did stay entertaining from start to finish. You had Gunther and Priest briefly going after each other, or double teaming Balor, I should say. Then they went after each other. It was very competitive with all three of them getting in offense. Gunther got the upper hand for a while. Then Priest busted out a move from The Undertaker. He went up top and walked the ropes. He did The Undertaker's old school, but he did a crossbody instead of the strike to the back of the neck, or the back area, the upper back shoulder area. Gunther regained control, put on a sleeper hold to Priest, but then Priest was able to escape. Priest hit Gunther with the South of Heaven chokeslam. Could not make the cover, though, because Finn Balor came back in. Priest gave Gunther the Razor's Edge, and then Balor hit Gunther with the coup de grace, but the pin was broken up. And then Priest hit Balor with the chokeslam. Gunther, though, pulled Priest out of the ring, and then Gunther powerbombed Priest on the steel steps. He barely got him up for it. He almost couldn't even get him up, but he did get him up, powerbombed him on the steps, and then Gunther returned to the ring, and Gunther pinned Finn Balor with the powerbomb. No surprise here. Balor took the fall, as I expected. It was a good match. Nice win here for Gunther. No shenanigans or anything. He needed the win. Solid match. We then had Chelsea Green versus Michin to crown the first ever Women's United States champion. And yeah, as Virtue pointed out, Priest's foot hit the stairs as Gunther was going for the power bomb. So that's what happened there. This match, again, went about as expected. You had Piper Niven out there, and she interfered multiple times. I would have preferred a clean match without the outside interference to crown your first champion. But yeah, when Piper was out there, you knew some shenanigans were going down. And anytime Michin would start to pick up some momentum, you had interference from Piper. The crowd was firmly behind Chelsea Green. They were chanting for her. And then when she hit the Rough Rider, the crowd was doing the Zack Ryder, woo, woo, woo. And Michin, though, built up some momentum. And then you had Piper Niven taken out, since she kept interfering. Michin took her out with the Eat the Feet finisher. Then she got back in the ring, hit Chelsea with the move, kind of missed it. Wondering if she should do a different move. I'm not sure. Chelsea got her foot on the rope, and then Piper interfered again, and this time Chelsea was able to take advantage, pick up the win in Zack Ryder's neck of the woods, Long Island, New York. Beat her with the Unpretty Her. Crowd went crazy for this. I think it was the right call. I mean, I would have rather seen Chelsea built up a little bit stronger and not be seen as a fluke champion, but she was the fan favorite. The NoDQ.com poll, I had 7, 8, 9 people on that poll, and she won with over 50% of the vote as far as who should be the first champion. She is considered to be somebody who has been overlooked, and people have been big supporters of her. I'm happy for her. I definitely think that she put in the time. My only criticism is from WWE's end. I think they should have built her up a little bit stronger and not book her like an undercard opening match competitor and then put this new championship on her. I would have done it a little bit differently in that regard, but I'm happy for her, and maybe she'll be booked a little bit stronger now as champion. Now, we move on here. We had Greg the Hammer Valentine, and WWE Hall of Famer. I mean, they're all Hall of Famers. Coco Beware was out there. And then Jesse Ventura came out there for commentary. Cody Rhodes came to the ring with the classic Winged Eagle Championship, which was very cool. Nice throwback. Cody was very happy to have that championship out there. And yes, Michael Cole did mention TNA during the women's match. Shout out to the Game Is On 100 who sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Made the comment here, says, my hunch is Chelsea will have a honky type of reign. That's a reference to the Honky Tonk Man, which makes the Game Is On 100 feel like maybe she's going to lose in 60 seconds to some up-and-comer in WWE in a year or so. I don't know. You might be right. Let's get to the match. Now, Owens immediately retreated to the outside of the ring. Cody went after him, hit a suicide dive, but then he was selling his ankle, and Owens was taking advantage of that. But then Owens started mocking the Dusty Rhodes bionic elbow taunt, so that fired up Cody. Cody got the upper hand. Then they were on the outside of the ring, and Cody gave Kevin Owens the RKO on the announce table, which got a big pop from the fans. Then Cody got him back in the ring, hit a springboard cutter. Owens kicked out of that. And then Owens regained the upper hand with a fisherman's buster. And then Owens went for a stunner. Cody countered out of it, but in the process here, the referee got knocked down. Referee was out of commission. Owens hit the stunner and went for the cover. A second referee ran down. Owens had the match won, but by the time the second referee got in the ring, Cody was able to kick out. Then the second referee accidentally got taken out by Cody. Owens brought in a steel chair, tried to use it, but then Cody took him down with a cutter, and then Cody gave Owens the crossroads onto the chair, and Jesse Ventura, old school Jesse, called out Cody Rhodes for cheating in this match, and the referee happened to recover, counted the 1-2-3 victory. Cody Rhodes picked up the win, and the show went off the air on a high note with Cody Rhodes celebrating. But then after the show went off the air, Kevin Owens attacked Cody, gave him the pile driver, and took off with the championship. So they're continuing the feud, obviously. Owens is going to say he got screwed, and he just took out Cody with the pile driver that put Randy Orton on the shelf. This feud will continue, perhaps to the beginning of the year, maybe the Royal Rumble. We'll see where it goes. And that was Saturday night's main event. Overall, I think it was a pretty good show. Was it perfect? No, it did feel a bit rushed at times. Maybe they should have just stuck with 4 matches instead of 5. But it was a very entertaining show. It did move very quickly. I enjoyed Jesse Ventura. He was a little rusty. I think at one point he called Kevin Owens Kevin Owen, and he stumbled on his words a little bit. He did feel a little bit dated at times, but at the same time, he was also entertaining, and it was a nice change of pace to have him out there. As Hamp points out, it did feel like a little bit of a glorified house show, but you had the bells and whistles with the nostalgia and the Saturday night's main event theme, which made it fun. And they did do a big angle at the end, although that was after the show went off the air. We had a new champion crowned. We had the Winged Eagle. We had a few memorable moments on the show. It wasn't perfect, but I did enjoy it. I will give it a B+. I very much enjoyed Saturday night's main event. It was an easy watch. 2 hours went by very quickly. And I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm curious to see where things go from here and what they do for the next Saturday night's main event. Will they continue to put stock in it, or will they be like, well, we did the one, we're not going to put any effort into the other ones? We'll see. Shout out to The Rock's Jockstrap, who sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, McAfee blows, bring Ventura in full time. I think Pat is great. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but he is very entertaining, and I loved having him out there. I think he was the one surprise on this show. We knew the Winged Eagle title was coming. They basically gave that away during the week with the social media clip. Everyone figured it was the Winged Eagle. And even Chelsea Green winning was a report that came out. So it's not like there were any real surprises if you're following wrestling news on the internet. Maybe if you don't go on the internet at all and watch this show, you may have been a little bit surprised. But I think I would have liked to have seen a few more surprises. I'm not sure what they would have been, but it felt like a fairly by-the-numbers show, but still entertaining with the bells and whistles. No Charlotte Flair return on this show. I mean, there were rumors that she might have returned as soon as this week, but maybe they bring her back after the beginning of the new year. Maybe she shows up on the Netflix Raw premiere. We'll see. Anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. I very much appreciate everybody for watching. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, a like on the NoDQ YouTube channel. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest news and rumors. You can check out the full results from the show over on NoDQ.com. Say yes to NoDQ.com, NoDQ.com/merch to buy merchandise. Take care, everybody, and I will see you all next time.